Joe Danilo ready to kick off for New York. The Giants leading 20-3. And it's Paul Hofer to the 20. Gets by Dixon, who then trips him up going by. Good play by Perkins and Dixon, but it was Al Dixon, number 84, who tripped him up. So the scoring drive, 4 plays, only went 12 yards, settled for the 22-yard field goal by Joe Danilo. 20-3 in favor of the Giants, and the 49ers, who have been shut out twice, got on the boards on a field goal earlier, and that's all. So Plunkett goes back to work. 1st and 10 from his own 22. He has Hofer and Farrell. Harrison in a slot, and now comes in motion to the right. Plunkett to Hofer, and he is sandwiched at the 35-yard line. Brad Van Pelt, number 10, hit him from one side and Carson from the other. Hofer holding on nicely.
Pass protection held that time. Jim Plunkett looks to his right, can't find anybody open, hesitates. I like this Hofer. Made a good adjustment. That's the hardest pass you're going to catch. When you're running one way, have to go back. I like the way he approaches returning kickoffs, too. He means to break them.
So 1st and 10 from the 38 at San Francisco. And that's to Paul Seal, no good. And hit hard by Powers, Clyde Powers, 4-year man out of Oklahoma.
The pass was just a little bit thrown behind him, just a wee bit. Jim Plunkett didn't do that bad a job on the thing, but as you see, the coverage was pretty good. Maybe should have held on to the thing. Paul Seal trying to make the reception.
The Giants last week lost on 3 bombs, a 55-yard touchdown pass, a 28-yard touchdown pass, and a 70-yard run from scrimmage. They are containing San Francisco and avoiding the bomb all day, and there's only 13 minutes left to go in the game. That was Gary Jeter, number 70, who made the false start. Oh, tremendous drop by Harrison. They had it in one hand and then couldn't hold it. A great try by number 83, Kenny Harrison.
Boy,
Two-year man out of SMU.
You're not going to, there you see the offsides by Jeter there. You're not going to throw the ball any better than that. Jim Plunkett put that one right dead on the money. And it looked like it was going to be a great reception there by Kenny Harrison. Look at that. That is professional. That might have been a completion and a fumble, though.
It was a good
After
play
he
by
hit
Bill
the ground,
Bryant, too.
I'm going to kind of take exception with that call. I believe he had the ball.
Well, they call him Flash, and there's nothing flashier than that one-handed try, but Jeter ruined that play.
Number 70, New York, offside.
Gary Jeter jumped off. 2nd and 5 from the 43 for San Francisco. We have 12:55 left to go in the game. The Giants 20 and the 49ers 3. Draw to Bob Farrell. Mendenhall read the draw but couldn't hold on to him, and Van Pelt finally had to come up and hit him along with Carson. But the guy who saw and smelled draw right away was John Mendenhall, but he let him get away. Bob Farrell. He was out of Blair High School in Los Angeles. Played with 2 very well-known high school and professional football players named James McAllister and Kermit Johnson. They were called the Blair pair.
You got it.
They're both gone. And Bob Farrell.
End of story.
Right. And Bob Farrell is playing his heart out. 3rd and 1 from the 47. Bob Farrell across midfield. Good leg action. And Farrell picks up his 1st down.
Now there's a boy who wants to play. He wants to play.
You know, when he was in high school and he's got a bad leg going off, he scored 7 touchdowns in 1 game.
Look at the desire right there and the attitude he's got. He's not stopped. They hit him pretty good. He means to advance the football. Not right now, though.
Nope, he paid for it. They gave him the bill. So Bob Farrell hurting his left leg. 1st and 10 on the Giant 49. Gene Washington left, Kenny Harrison right. Wilbert Jackson in there now to block Jeter. And a deep one going for Harrison. He's got it. And a tackle immediately by Bill Bryant, but the flash. Kenny Harrison makes a marvelous reception.
What is his speed? He can fly. I had no idea. I knew Willie McGee, that's been injured, never came back from last year's broken leg, could run. But this guy can really truck it, brother. And look at that pass. Plunkett is mystifying me. Some of his passes are so horrible, and some of them are just so beautiful. That was perfect. That Kenny Harrison can fly.
So it's 1st and goal. San Francisco on the Giant 3-yard line. Harrison had just missed an electrifying catch moments ago, and on a repeat for the West Coast, he came up with a dandy. So Plunkett 10 for 16, and it's 1st and goal on the 3. Wilbur Jackson and Paul Hofer. Jackson following Hofer. Got down to about the 1. Emmett, I was going to say Emmett. Brian Kelly making the catch. Nothing clownish about Brian Kelly.
The 49ers get it in the end zone, we could have a ball game yet. There's still 10 minutes and 30 seconds or so on that clock.
17 points different. Giants 20, 49ers 3. Jackson. And he's in for the score. Wilbur Jackson, who had only 1 touchdown rushing in 44 NFL games, punches it over.
Running up the back of Keith Fonhorst, number 71. Let's take a look at it and see what he does. Oh, completely destroys Jeter that time. Enough of a hole to get in there. Wilbur Jackson.
Well, it's 20-9. 10 minutes and 15 seconds. We take another look.
Yeah, Jeter just buried himself. Fonhorst just laid his body on top of him, creating a big gap there. Plenty of room.
Now Ray Wershing, who earlier kicked a 50-yard field goal, gets it up, and it's good. So he has joined the club indeed. We have 10 minutes and 15 seconds left to go in the ball game. The Giants 20, and San Francisco trying to come back with 10.
Schlitz Light.
Schlitz Light beer has a third fewer calories than our other fine beer, and all the taste beer drinkers expect from Schlitz.
What did you just give him?
His beer. It's the only light beer with gusto.
Oh, yeah? Schlitz Light.
Beer drinkers know it took Schlitz to bring the taste to light.
I mean, it was really a good movie.
It was good, wasn't it?
Oh, honey, look, some poor guy left his lights on.
Larry.
Is he gonna be in trouble?
Larry.
Boy, am I glad it isn't me.
Larry, it is you.
It is me. Oh.
The Die Hard has extra power to start your car when most batteries won't. Starting soon in your neighborhood. Sold only at Sears.
Remember to watch for Logan's Run, the intergalactic adventure series that hits with the impact of Star Wars Monday nights at 8, 7 Central and Mountain Time. And tomorrow, a mighty battle looms for control of the Star World. And a big boomer that will send Hammond out of the state. He went into the suburbs for that one.
Made it back to New York, didn't he?
So Ray Wershing, he's a newcomer, 4 years with San Diego. He just joined the club on Thursday. He probably hasn't met all the players
That's
yet.
what he's doing right there, shaking hands.
And his first attempt for San Francisco, he kicked a 50-yard field goal, and he has kind of sat around all the rest of the day, just kicked a point after. Giants 20, 49ers 10. 10 minutes left to go in the ball game. Those are the numbers and how the San Francisco 49ers got on the board. Now Pisarcik with Spencer in front of Hammond. And it's Hammond. Following Spencer, down he goes. He was trying to guide him with his hand.
Cedric Hartman, someone put a burr under him. He went nuts that time.
Hammond is the boy you remember. Busted one for about 63 yards. The most exciting single play today.
He's been playing sparingly, but he's, despite that, he's the leading rusher for the Giants this year. Going into today's game, anyhow.
Looking at double threes, Bob Hammond. Robinson wide left, Marshall wide right. Here comes Hammond. And he gets out across the 25. Bob Hammond was released by New Orleans, and he was cut once by the Giants. Out of Morgan State, a free agent in '75. He's had 2 years. He's only 5'10", 170. He's 25 years old. He's the boy we told you about, who plays guitar and the bass for the gospel group conducted by his father.
And travels a lot.
Travels well.
Team to team.
Joe Pisarcik, who traveled. He used to play in the Canadian Football League. He's come down to New York to thaw out. 3rd and 5 from the 25. And a blitz. McGill missed him. And there goes Hammond. Oh, Ralph McGill on a safety blitz gambled and just missed his man.
And that gamble just very closely played off. Very nearly paid off.
Watch number 49, Ralph McGill.
He doesn't do anything. McGill doesn't do anything half speed. Look at that. He didn't know which he. One hand for one hand for the other one. Hammond's got great quickness, though. Surprising. He didn't look that good at New Orleans. I guess when you're on the waiver path, you decide you want a home.
Yep.
Like the Bo Weevil, I'm looking for a home.
Dave Jennings will have to punt 4th and 3, and he'll be punting a high snap, but he got it away and barely. It was deflected, and I believe it'll be running into the kicker. Charge to Bruce Elia. Anthony Leonard finally comes up with the ball, and Anthony Leonard, who was injured moments ago, has the ball, but Dave Jennings will have Bruce Elia, number 55, in his lap on this punt.
Now the question is, did they get any part of that ball? If they did, there should be no penalty.
Here's Elia.
Let's see. There's Elia, and he did not get anywhere close to it. Oh, mistakes like that can really hurt you. Well, that's obvious enough, isn't it?
It was a 4th and 3 situation. This will be an automatic first down.
Think of the
Tough
field
play.
position they would have had, too.
Tell you, Elia had to pay a little price. It really looked like he was kicked in the head.
It surely did.
And the fellow who knows about that, Ralph McGill, 2 years ago, was kicked in the head by Tom Dempsey.
I did that game out in Los Angeles. That was a scary thing. He laid on the ground there for, 30 minutes, I guess.
Let me get the report. Okay, a silent report, but we had picked it off. Running into the kicker, charge against Bruce Elia, an automatic first down for the Giants. So Joe Pisarcik will come back in at the wheel. We have 8 minutes and 2 seconds. And of course, the one thing the 49ers wanted was the ball, and they've just lost the opportunity to drive in and get close.
They wanted the momentum. That's what momentum is, having the football.
San Francisco,
And there's the
right into
play.
the kicker,
Bruce
first
Elia.
down.
It's too bad to pay the price when you're really trying to do your job, but that's what happened. So the Giants hold on to the ball, take over 1st and 10 from their own 32. Robinson is right. Moorhead left. And it's Willie Spencer, ran right through the grass, but Dave Washington, and there are flags on the play.
Didn't see any infraction, but I'll see a face mask on. Holding. You know, it just seems like when a team gets behind, that all the calls go in their favor.
Yeah.
Maybe in my imagination, but it sure seems like it.
Number 63, New York, holding.
Doug Van Horn. A guilty party that time. Yeah, Detroit's getting back into action there. Greg Landry hitting Ray Jarvis on a 9-yard scoring pass for Detroit.
1st and 20 from the Giant 22-yard line. Marshall is wide left, Robinson wide right. And Robinson has not had the ball all day today, which is somewhat of a surprise. Hammond hit hard. Down he goes shy of the 25.
No, we haven't mentioned Jimmy Robinson. He's having an outstanding year with the Giants.
He's number 1 in the National Football League on average, 25.5 yards per average catch. He's caught 11, and they haven't even knocked on his door today.
Had an 80-yard touchdown pass last week and a 78-yard, not a touchdown, but a 78-yard completion the week before.
Of course, Pisarcik is not throwing. He is 2 for 7 for 47 yards. One of them was a 37-yard touchdown to Gary Shirk. Hammond across the 30, leaving Niners in his wake. So Bob Hammond making the most of an opportunity.
Boy, you can't know the feeling of being put on waivers until you've been put on waivers. Nobody wants to talk to you. You're just looking for a place to land, because after all said and done, you hear about the big salaries. Most of these boys just want to play football.
Yeah, 3rd and 11. The nickel defense now looking for the passes. San Francisco. We'll see what Pisarcik does. Spencer and Hammond, and it's Hammond following Spencer. Gets out across the 35. Washington was on top and Ralph McGill on the bottom. But not enough, not nearly enough for any kind of a first down, and they'll have to punt again. So we have 6 minutes, 20 seconds left to go in the game. 20-10 in favor of the Giants. Anthony Leonard will go back in a single safety. He had his bell rung much earlier on his own tackle, and Dave Jennings, who has been a busy man, will be doing the kicking. He's a third cousin of Carlton Fisk, and he hangs one, and Leonard's just going to let it bounce, and it takes a 49er bounce and picked up by Bruce Elia. And Elia is knocked down by Kelly, so you got a house full of 5s. 55 knocks down 55. Well, we got 5:48 left to go in the ball game. The Giants holding on to an early lead, leading San Francisco 20-10.
Energy for a stronger America.
Excuse me, Mr. Johnson.
Yeah?
Do you know you're one of America's most valuable energy sources?
I am?
That insulation you're installing isn't only going to save you a lot of money.
Yeah?
It's going to help our country save energy.
So?
So thank you.
You're welcome.
By saving energy, you're helping hold down foreign imports, while companies like Exxon develop other energy sources like coal, nuclear fuel, and solar power. Energy for a strong America.
Alcoa can't wait.
Here they come, pouring in from California and Vermont, from Texas, Oklahoma, and Georgia, from all over the country. Billions of used aluminum cans headed for recycling. Today, about 1 out of 4 aluminum cans is recycled and used again. Tomorrow may be 1 out of 3. Someday, maybe every one of them.
We can't wait for tomorrow. Alcoa can't wait.
Jim Plunkett is 10 for 16 today for 141 yards. No touchdowns through the air, and he has had 1 interception. 1st and 10 from the San Francisco 45. 5:48 left in the game. Complete to Paul Seal, the tight end, and Powers finally wrestles him down to the ground. He still has about 3 yards to go for a first down. Paul Seal making the reception.
I like Plunkett's approach, though. He's not trying to get rich too soon, because you know that those Giants are going to be back here in the deep coverages and the zone defenses and all. You just got to take what they give you.
Well, they gave him 7, so it'll be 2nd and 3. The ball on the 47-yard line of New York. Gene Washington wide right. Jim Lash wide left. Farrell and Hofer, the running back. Play action fake. And Plunkett going deep to Washington. Touchdown! Oh, what a play!
Now, there you are. That's the Gene Washington I know. He adjusts on the football about as well as any man had ever put on shoulder pads.
47-yard touchdown pass. Plunkett to Washington.
Oh, I love to see it. Gene Washington, what a receiver he is. Certainly one of the tops in football today and maybe all time. Look at the adjustment on the ball. Look at the adjustment on this ball.
Bill Bryant on top of him.
Bill Bryant right on top of him, but look at how he holds on and controls it, and in addition to that, drags himself right on into the end zone. The mark of a champion.
A magnificent reception by Gene Washington. And hey, now the 49ers are in the ball game with 5 minutes left to go. It's 20-16, and Wersching gets it up and good. And so all of a sudden, Ray Wersching, Gene Washington, Jim Plunkett, and the 49ers are very much in the thick of things. With 5 minutes and 1 second left to go in the ball game, Giants 20, 49ers 17 on this 47-yard bomb.
As you saw, the protection was there. He had plenty of time, and Jim Plunkett again mystifies you because he puts the ball right there. But the total concentration of Gene Washington here, holding on to that ball, Bryant doing everything in the world to try to get away from him and making it into the end zone. Oh, I love it.
And so San Francisco languishing all day long, looking flat and listless. And now they're alive. It is 20-17 Giants. 5 minutes and 1 second left to go. Going deep, Gordon Bell and Bob Hammond. Bell number 25, Hammond 33, and Ray Wersching, who has indeed made his contributions as the newest member of the 49ers, ready to kick off from his 35. Not too deep. And it'll be Gordon Bell, and he's going to stay there with it. That ball carried more than we thought. So the Giants will take it over 1st and 10 from their own 20. 4:54 left to go in the game. And there you see it. 2 plays, one of them for 47 yards from Jim Plunkett to Gene Washington. John McVay, 46 years old, a center at Miami of Ohio under Woody Hayes and Ara Parsegian. He's in the Hall of Fame in Miami of Ohio, and he is on the hook now, trying to hold on to a 3-point lead. There has been a flag dropped on the kick. It'll be offsides against San Francisco. That means Wersching will have to kick it from the 30.
Vin Scully, do you get the feel that the 49ers, when they started juggling some of their reserve players in there, really picked up a little bit? Some of these backup players started playing regularly, and it picked up the tempo?
I would say certainly that fellows like Hammond and Spencer have done an electrifying job for New York in their second string, and the same thing for San Francisco, because their backup men, Bob Farrell and Paul Hofer, have done the same thing.
Along with Paul Seal.
Yep.
It seems to have given them a lift.
I was going to say it took a hungry player, but when you look at these two teams, one is 0-4, the other is 1-3. There can't be a fat cat down there.
No.
Hats off and a low bow from the waist to the juice. O.J. Simpson has rushed for over 100 yards again, 10,000 in his career. Wersching. Bob Hammond from the end zone to the 20. And hit hard by Jim Obradovich out of USC and decked as he crossed the 20-yard line. So now the Giants leading by 3 with 4 minutes and 44 seconds left to go in the ball game. They'll put it in play 1st and 10 from their own 23. And for the 49ers, they want to get their hands on the ball.
And watch them come. They're going to play that line of scrimmage, and they should be playing that run.
Zonka is in there with Hammond. Robinson is left. Moorhead right. Second man, Hammond, still on his feet. Out to the 30-yard line. Bob Hammond doing a fine job. Doug Coter came into this game with bad ribs and apparently took a lick or two and has not been seen since.
I noticed the 49ers have made some substitutions in their defensive line. Ed Gallagher, who came from the Jets, I guess, playing in there now, and so is Bill Cook, and I haven't seen them all day.
Right. 2nd and 3 from the Giant 30. 4 minutes, 11 seconds left to go. Zonka hit head on by Bruce Elia, number 55. And Elia has gotten a lot of playing time today. You have to remember the 49ers lost great young linebacker Willie Harper almost on the first play of the game.
Elia, I think, played in the middle last year, so this is a new position for him.
Right, and he's really gotten into the thick of things. Of course, he was also involved in that punt with Dave Jennings that kept the ball in New York's hands for 3 more plays. 3rd and 2 from the 31. Moorhead left and Robinson right. Zonka and Coulter is back in. And it's Coulter. And I don't know. From this angle, it's hard to say. It's very close whether he made the first down or not. And the officials will measure. So Doug Coulter finally makes an appearance. And double fours moved it awfully close to the first down.
There's some anxious faces among those coaches right now on both
3
sides.
minutes, 20 seconds left to go in the game. Well, they're going to measure.
There's the two defensive tackles we were speaking of, Bill Cook and Ed Gallagher.
Any portion of the ball.
He's short.
Inches. And leading, they're not going to take any chances. Dave Jennings is coming in. Look at that. I wonder who's pitching.
And O.J.'s run for over 100 yards in that game and still just 3 points. That's surprising. Atlanta can't get their offense on track, but they have been a surprisingly good team this year.
The Giants have missed a first down, I would guess, by 2 inches. And now Dave Jennings will be punting to Anthony Leonard. Leonard standing inside his own 30. Jennings will be kicking from his own 20-yard line. Three minutes and 10 seconds left to go in the ball game. They're not coming. They're dropping back for protection. And Leonard will not be able to make a return. And the Giants will down it at the 29-yard line. Jim Peterzak was down there to down it inside the 30. And now for San Francisco, it's all on the table. 2 minutes and 55 seconds left to go in the ball game. They have to travel 69 yards. Just about 70. It is 20-17 Giants.
And I think they have all their timeouts left, do they not?
Plunkett with Washington left, Harrison right, Paul Seal is the tight end. Over the middle to Hofer. And he is hit shy of the 35-yard line by Carson and Van Pelt. Not enough for the first down, but as you mentioned earlier, Alex, he's not trying to get rich in a hurry.
No, sir. He's got his timeouts left, and then he will have the timeout that comes with a 2-minute warning, so there's plenty of time left. It's a matter of sustaining the drive.
Jim Plunkett has been playing professionally since 1971. So he calmly brings him up. Washington right, Lash left. And Plunkett is going to run. Gregory Mendenhall and the rest chasing him. And he goes into a slide, I think just shy of the first down. But it was Carson coming up to hit him, and he slid into Carson. Let's see. Right at the first down line.
Now, I'm not nitpicking here at all, Vin, but it would appear to me that he'd go ahead and make the first down, make sure he had that before he went down.
Well, there's the 2-minute warning. Giants 20 and San Francisco 17.
With the price of most things going up, the sticker price of Pinto, the best-selling American small car, is coming down. As of October 3rd, new 78 model Pintos with more standard features will have a lower sticker price than last year's model comparably equipped. Important features are now standard, like AM radio, power front disc brakes, rear window defroster, tinted glass, and protective body side moldings. Ford Pinto, more car for the money than last year. Also, Ford has announced substantial sticker price reductions on their sporty 1978 Mustang IIs. And Fiesta, with Europe's most successful new car introduction in history, has already become a sales success in America. Then there's Ford's newest better idea, Fairmont. Fairmont is roomy, but with mileage like a small car. And even this Fairmont wagon is base sticker priced lower than a four-door VW Rabbit. So the Ford dealers seem to have the edge in choice and value. Pinto at a lower sticker price, Mustang at a lower sticker price, Fiesta, a new import success, and Fairmont, a new car for a new age. At Ford, the better ideas keep coming.
With 2 minutes left to go in the ball game, that calculated slide by Jim Plunkett was just good by inches to give San Francisco a first down.
And my apologies to Jim Plunkett for that. He knew exactly where he was, didn't he?
He was right on the money. He didn't give you a nickel's change, though. Kenny Harrison goes right. Gene Washington left. Hofer and Jackson are the running backs. Seal the tight end. Plunkett to Jackson. To the 40. To the 45. Across midfield. Great second effort by Wilbur Jackson, picking up a first down to the Giant 49. 1 minute 44 seconds. You can see it ticking away.
Once again, great play selection there. You've got to give those offensive linemen a little help with that hard-charging Giant defensive front four. They're going after the passer.
And it's complete to Paul Seal, the tight end, at the Giant 40-yard line. And hold everything. They are indicating a holding penalty against San Francisco.
Uh-oh. And that's hurt the 49ers all year long, is costly penalties in situations like that.
They were only 1 yard shy of a first down on that pass completion, but they blow it all on the holding call.
Holding number 69, San Francisco.
Woody, how could you do it? Woody Peoples.
A 9-year veteran out of Grambling. Plunkett is 14 for 20, 213 yards, and 1 for a 47-yard touchdown to Gene Washington. 1st and 20 from the 41. Gregory had him, and down he goes.
Boy, that's the lift you look for a veteran like that who had some great years. You got, of course, Gregory. Everybody knows they got him in from Cleveland a few years back, and he's had the year he got here 21 sacks or something like that. But that's what you look for, is leadership from your old dudes.
Gregory almost jerked the shirt off Plunkett. In fact, you can see he did. There's the shoulder pad sticking out. And as Gregory was choking him with one hand, Troy Archer then came up to bury him. And so that was a tough lick. The ball is back on the 30. Now, just to show you the change of fortunes, Plunkett had completed a pass to Paul Seal to the 40-yard line of the Giants. And there was a holding on that, now a sack, and they've gone from the Giant 40 to the San Francisco 30. That's losing yardage in a hurry.
A difference of a couple downs and 30 yards.
Okay, come up with a 2nd and 30 for me with 1 minute and 19 to go.
That's when the coach usually leaves and goes up to the booth.
I remember Sonny Jurgensen telling me one time he came to the sidelines and said to Vince Lombardi on a play similar to this, 2nd and 30. Lombardi said, I didn't make it 2nd and 30. You come up with the play.
You got us there, you get us out.
Right. And that's Plunkett's dilemma right now as he talks it all over with Kenny Myers. Plunkett to repeat. Now that we've had to scratch what we thought was a completed pass to Paul Seal. 213 yards, 14 out of 20. 1 interception, that by linebacker Brian Kelly. 1 touchdown, 47 yards to Gene Washington on a remarkable catch. So 2nd and 30 from the 30. Let's see what they come up with. He's got to get to the New York 39. Good protection. And now Jeter got him, but he got away from him. Plunkett still looking. Throwing as far as he can for Harrison, no good. Kenny Harrison with Bill Bryant all over him, and there's a flag on the play. And in looking at the Giant reaction, they think it's against San Francisco. It is holding against San Francisco.
So close and yet so far. Keith Barnhorst did such an incredible job that time on Gary Jeter. It showed the strength that this man possesses. Brother Heaton, no, I can't say what I was going to, but he gave him a lick.
He did indeed, and Plunkett all over the field. There was blue pouring in like a great tide out of the Pacific, and Plunkett almost had his head torn off by Jeter and then wound up and threw and missed Harrison. But there's the holding call.
Holding number 77, San Francisco.
That's Gene Barrett. But it is not so much the guilt of Woody Peoples and Gene Barrett. It is the inspired defensive play of that Giant front four.
You summed it up.
Oh,
that is true.
So the ball now is at the 20. So where they had completed a pass on the Giant 39, they've gone backwards on a couple of holding calls, but the clock goes forward. 2nd and 40. It's to Paul Hofer. And he gets across the 30, but he's 10 minutes away by phone. 54 seconds to go in the ball game. Timeout, San Francisco. The Giants 20, San Francisco 17.
I wouldn't be going away from your sets, though, because all they need 3 points to tie the ball game up, and really it would be 2 completions. They would be within range.
Well, as Jim Plunkett comes over to talk to Kenny Myers again, we'd like to remind you on the CBS Sports Spectacular next Saturday, it'll be a battle of heavyweights. Leon Spinks and Scott Ledoux, Michael Spinks and Gary Summerhays, Bernardo Mercado and Greg Johnson. And then if that's not enough, we have the world's strongest men competition. That'll all coming up next Saturday on the CBS Sports Spectacular, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
Boy, the Spinks boys really excited me in the Olympics. They put on a show, didn't they?
Sure did. Well, Plunkett has Kenny Harrison in the game, Jim Lash coming out of the game. And of course, in this kind of a spot, Gene Washington probably will have double coverage because he is the one man who can really come up with a game buster.
I would think at least double coverage. And possibly more than that. But with the speed that Kenny Harrison's got, you can't ignore him either.
All right, Harrison comes wide right, Washington left. It is 3rd and 29. Mendenhall, and brought down by Gregory. Mendenhall and Gregory sack Plunkett.
With 5 players to block 3 men, you wouldn't think that could happen, would you? But
timeout, San Francisco.
Jack Gregory with another big play.
Look at that face. That tells you an awful lot.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, 5 people hold out those 3 people for just a little while. I need time. I got a lot of yards to make up.
When you look at the size of some of the defensive players for the Giants, Jeter at 6'4", Archer 6'4", Gregory 6'5". The smallest man up front is Mendenhall, 6'1", and Plunkett is 6'2", so he can barely see over them as they really put the heat on him. And John McVay, 46-year-old. He came out of, well, 9 years in high school. He was an assistant coach at Michigan State under Duffy Daugherty. Head coach at Dayton University for 5 years. Coached Memphis of the World Football League from 74 and 75. He joined New York in April of 76 as the assistant coach in research and player development. Replaced Bill Arnsparger October 25, 1976 with the Giant record 0-7. He has 3 sons. One is a defensive back who tried out with the Giants in 1975. He has another, a former quarterback at Dayton, and he has a son who is a safety man at Indiana U. Sorry, I don't have his blood type.
That'll do.
4th and 38. 23-yard line. They're not coming this time. They let him crank up and throw deep to Paul Seal in a crowd. Everybody was there but Governor Carey.
That's about the only chance he had that time. There's just too many yards, and he had to look for something freaky to happen or a pass interference, which would give him an automatic first down.
That was unreal. Paul Seal was a small island in a sea of blue.
You hit it there.
Oh, take another look at this.
As you see, there's only 3 men up on that defensive line for the New York Jets. Even so, Gregory gets some pressure on him. And look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 against 1. Hardly any hope, but it was the only chance he had. Did I say, okay, the New York Giants secondary. All right.
Well, the Giants take it over, of course, with time running out. Joe Pisarcik with Dick. Whoa! Holy mackerel. Did you see Mel Phillips wind up and try and cop a Sunday on Al Dixon, number 84?
You're looking at my nose. He did it to me on the West Coast one time.
Is that where you got that, Ben?
Well, that's one of the places.
Take a look at this one.
Watch number 32. Come into your picture here and watch his left arm. Right about
here. Comes.
Woo. Oh. Come on, Mel. That don't seem quite cricket.
Well, the time has run out, 32 seconds, and the Giants holding on to the ball. Here's the call, but of course you saw it.
Number 32, first down.
Number 32, an angry, overextended Mel Phillips tried to deck Al Dixon.
That comes out of the heat of frustration.
Been a long afternoon. He's carrying the time on his back as well as the load of the whole day. 20-17 Giant. Spencer, Cloder, Zonka, and Pasark. And down he goes. We should tell you a little bit. On the West Coast, you probably don't know very much about Joe Pisarcik. P-I-S-A-R-C-I-K. There is Jim Plunkett. And Plunkett can just sit and wait as time runs out. Joe Pisarcik is a rookie out of New Mexico State. He is 6'3", 220, 25, and he has piloted the Giants to a 20-17 victory over the San Francisco 49ers. And for San Francisco, down they go, their worst year since 1963. They lose 20-17.
Come on, old trademark. Time for your walk. What's the hurry? I know where we're going. To where your family began. With the same Levi's blue jeans worn by this man. Hey, you've come quite a ways, little registered Mark. Now that I see these guys by the park dressed in your newest edition, sums it up right there. Levi's sportswear. Trademark, I know what you'd say if you could. Levi's don't have to be blue, just have to be good.
Pabst Blue Ribbon wouldn't dare challenge anyone to take on the raging Colorado in a wooden boat. But we do challenge you to discover a better tasting premium beer. Taste and compare Pabst with the beer you're now drinking. We know you'll taste the difference Blue Ribbon quality makes. Pabst, since 1844, the quality has always come through.
2 minutes and 7 seconds left in Buffalo. Atlanta trailing by a field goal. Let's check the scoreboard right now. The story there is that the Falcons just missed on a 4th and 1 and turned the ball over inside their 6-yard line. Elsewhere around the league this afternoon, Detroit under pressure as the Packers score for the first time in the second half all year. St. Louis behind Jimmy Hart, leading Philadelphia 21-10. Eagles playing strongly in the fourth quarter. And, of course, the game you just watched, San Francisco rallied, but they gave away too much in the first half, but give them credit for not quitting this afternoon. Baltimore, 17, Kansas City, 6. Another final score just in. And Chicago and Minnesota. They have just started the third quarter, 13-6. Avellini threw a touchdown pass to Rather, and then they missed the extra point. The Cleveland Browns spotted Houston 10 points. The Oilers playing without Dante Pastorini, and John Hadel came in. Then they went back to Pastorini, and look at what has happened. They are now behind the Browns by 1 point, second quarter, 21-20. Now, many of you have heard the story, and some of you haven't. Time magazine tomorrow is going to break a report that Reggie Jackson insists he will not return to the New York Yankees next year under any circumstances if Billy Martin remains a manager. So I've got Pete Rose back in here because I find this story so hard to believe. Here is a team one victory away from winning a world championship, and you've got a ball player dictating to management what he wants to do, Pete.
Well, I'm sure right now that's the utmost thing on both of their minds is winning the fourth game of the World Series, which gives them the World Championship, and they probably don't care what's going to happen next year, and I don't believe the story myself.
Yeah, because it would be so hard.
They were hugging each other yesterday and very happy with the outcome of yesterday's game and looking forward to today's game, and I just don't think that the story means anything.
Pete, I'm going to bring in the voice of the Los Angeles Dodgers, who called the broadcast out there today between the New York Giants and the San Francisco 49ers. Vin Scully now is on our remote, and Vin, I'd like to ask you, what do you think the problems are that the Dodgers have been facing in this series, not playing like they did all year?
Well, I guess really Pete could answer it a lot better than I could. It happens during the course of any year. A ball club has a couple of days where they're flat. They just don't seem to do what they normally do, and they have plenty of time to make up for it. When it happens in the playoff, as it did to the Phillies or Kansas City, when it happens in the World Series, you don't have that great time to recover. And I know Pete sitting there, you can think of dead spots during the year that the Reds had, and all you need to have is a 3-day dead spot in the World Series, and you're dead.
Good pitching does that too, right, Vin?
And how? The old story that good pitching takes care of all the hitting in the world, and it usually comes out on top. Although, to be honest, going into the World Series, I thought the Dodgers would win it, three or four in a row after maybe losing one game to Gullet. Now, of course, I'm as wrong as I can be.
Then we may all be shoveling dirt on them a little bit too quickly. They certainly have got one loss ahead of them to stay in this. Let's talk a little bit about Don Sutton. You and Pete know him so well.
Well, he's a breaking ball pitcher, and he's a consistent pitcher, and he's a good bunter, and he gets the bat on the ball, and he keeps the guys close to first base. He helps the team in more ways than just throwing a ball 60 feet 6 inches. And if I had a game that I need to win of all the Dodger pitchers, I'd like to have Sutton out there.
You agree with that, Vin?
Oh, and how? Sutton, of all the pitchers on the ball club, first of all, he is the heir apparent to the role of Don Drysdale. He is the one, as Pete said, who gets the ball for the big game, and he has done it for 11 years. And, of course, he was the one who helped them get to the playoffs. He was the one to get them started properly in the playoffs. I was a little surprised in the World Series. After all, they gave him I think it was a 2-0 lead, and it got away on him. The chances are, with his confidence, his complete feeling that he can win any time going out, that he will win today's game. Unless, and I couldn't believe it, Pete, the way they were talking about Don Gullet with a sore arm, and then you saw him. How could a man throw the ball like that?
96 mile an hour,
Yeah, I couldn't believe that. So Gullet doesn't have a sore arm, and now suddenly everything is scrambled.
Okay. Vin, excuse me, Pete, we got to pay some bills around here. Vin, have a nice trip back to Los Angeles.
Delighted
Thank you
to
very
go back.
much.
Thank you.
And the NFL Today will continue on CBS in just a moment.
Cold night, Bob. Did you put in the Prestone antifreeze?
Prestone, Prestone. Who needs Prestone?
Prestone, Prestone. You need Prestone.
If your antifreeze is worn out or you don't have enough, you could be in trouble. So put in a fresh fill of Prestone, too, to prevent corrosion and freeze-ups.
Prestone! Prestone! We need Prestone! Prestone!
Prestone, Prestone. You need Prestone.
America, you've been changing.
Coming, going, changing, growing. The things that make up life.
Why is Bank AmeriCard becoming Visa? To keep up with you.
You're traveling, you're moving, you're taking more from life.
Today you need money that's good around the corner, all across America, and in 117 countries around the world. That's why Bank AmeriCard is becoming Visa, the most widely recognized card in the world. Visa, we're keeping up with you.
A little bit of everything going on. 21-17 Cardinals over the Eagles. The Eagles just score. Right now, let's go up live and show you what's happening in the Atlanta-Buffalo game. It is 3-0 right now in that contest. Buffalo is ahead. They're holding on. This should be about 2nd and 10. Scott Hunter is up. You are watching live. 1:43 right now. They've got to get down there to try and get a tying field goal. Incomplete right now. That's the time left in that game right there. 1 minute and 38 seconds. Let's point out that the great O.J. Simpson in that contest has passed the 10,000-yard mark. He thus becomes only the second runner in the history of professional football to achieve that tremendous standard. And so, time running out, Atlanta was a slight favorite, and they're trying to come back. We'll keep you up to date, but let's check in on some other highlights right now in that game before the action you just saw in the fourth quarter. Now, this is taped action. This is not live. We're going to show you O.J. Simpson going for a first down to set up the field goal. Here it comes right here. Now, remember, this is taped action. The Juice, and they kicked it. It was 3-0. Now, Neil O'Donohue will kick the field goal, 3-0, with 1:33. They have just turned the ball over now to Buffalo, and here's the play that gives Simpson 10,000 yards in his fabulous career. There he was, right there. And I was just watching a replay on Scott Hunter Back to throw the ball. It was incomplete. It was not intercepted, so they're still holding on right now. All right, Irv, what have you got going over there?
We have a lot of close calls there. The Philadelphia Eagles are trailing the St. Louis Cardinals 21-17. Before we do that, let's get back up to Buffalo and find out what's going live out of Buffalo.
Hunter takes a look. He throws. It's caught by Alfred Jenkins. It's a first down. Alfred Jenkins catches the ball at the 38-yard line.
Alfred Jenkins made the catch.
Hunter with beautiful cool as he rolls out.
So Micah Meyer now getting a little bit closer. He can kick the field goal to tie this game. You're watching live. Now here is Alfred Jenkins. He has had a fabulous career. Takes his one bump. That's all he can get. Goes to the sideline right now, and Scott Hunter has got Jenkins. And look how perfectly he's working that sidelines. Watch how he works right there. Both feet coming down inbounds. Now, let's go back right now to Vin Scully as we watch Hunter. Woo! We've got everything going on right now, don't we? I can't stay up with all the action. How are the Eagles and the Cardinals doing out there? I see that one's still 21-17 right now. St. Louis is holding on there with Jimmy Hart, of course, trying to do the job. Now we are clear. Let's go back to Giant Stadium, and here's Vin Scully. Vin?
Okay, Brent. Well, down on the field, Doug Van Horn and Gary Jeter. Color them blue, giant blue, as they won. Let's go to Alex Hawkins.
Down here on the field, we've got Gary Jeter to my left, and we've got Doug Van Horn on my right. And Doug, first I want to congratulate you on a fine victory today.
Well, thank you. It's been about 3 games in coming. We had pretty tough defense we played against today, but we hung in there, and our special teams really played super for us. Defense played well when they had to, and we came out with a win. We're really happy.
You had your hands full this afternoon with Cleveland Elam, huh?
Well, he's the best I've ever faced, and I've been playing this league 12 years now, and I think he's an outstanding young defensive lineman.
Doug, I don't want to spoil the moment, but there has been some talk about dissension on this team, and I just asked you a little while ago, and I would like for you to tell me how you feel about your team and your coach and the situation.
Well, our coach, John McVay, he just exudes enthusiasm and carries over into the players. Anytime you're losing, you're going to have guys grumbling and moaning, and when you win, you get everybody's happy. So it's just a natural part of the game. So we want to win, so we can eliminate that.
It's nothing that a win won't cure, is it?
That's right.
Congratulations again on the fine victory.
Alex.
Gary, you were a busy boy today.
Yeah, man, I was trying to get to Plunkett all day, man.
I understand that near the end there, you were going in and out and all. It gets tired chasing him back there, huh?
Yeah, but, you know, a couple times I think Troy came through on him, and they was double teaming on my side, and I fell down. I got up, I missed Plunkett, was chasing him around, but you know we finally got him. Jack went into a prevent defense late, and it took me out, and then Jack came through on the side.
Right before the half, I thought you'd gone crazy. I thought we were doing the Gary Jeter show. You were in on nearly every tackle.
Well, you know, I've played some good games, but I've been making a lot of mistakes, and you know, I just want to prove that I can play in the National Football League.
Well, you certainly have come a long way since the start of the season. I know you're going to have continued improvement. Keith Fonhorst is a fine offensive tackle.
Yes, he is. You know, he's a good drive blocker, and he sets up real deep on pass. You know, so it's really hard to get to him and do the moves that we practice. But you know, I've been having a hard week of practice, and the veterans like Van Horn and Gravel and Mikolojek have really been helping me out, along with Gregory and Mendenhall, and I've been really coming along. I hope I can continue to do as well as I've been doing.
What is, and I've always wondered this myself, what is a #1 draft choice in a city like New York? What is the pressure on you?
Man, it's tremendous, man. You know, it's like you get your name in the paper all the time if you do good, if you do bad, if you do anything, man. You know, like where I go to eat, that's in the paper. So it's a lot of pressures, man, but I played college football in Los Angeles, and, I got a little mild taste of it, and I'm just starting to settle down and just play football right now.
Gary, you've got a great future ahead of you. Congratulations again on the win. Doug, thank you. Now we'll take you back upstairs.
Thank you, Alex. The final score again, the Giants getting out early, holding on to beat the Giants, beating the San Francisco 49ers 20-17.
Alcoa can't wait.
Highway light poles can be treacherous, especially if they stop your car dead on impact. That's why Alcoa helped develop this special aluminum light pole system that breaks away on impact. The aluminum pole takes the beating instead of you. Breakaway aluminum poles are out there saving lives right now.
We can't wait for tomorrow. Alcoa can't wait.
Down the Columbia, the Willamette, the Siuslaw, from the great renewable forests, they come. Logs. Logs to build a better America. And Homelight is there. Homelight, the king. Rugged as the men who run it. Men who fell the mighty fir and see it rise again. When the time in your life comes to get a chainsaw, get the king. Homelight, the chainsaw king.
A recap of the scoring. San Francisco had Ray Wershing kick a 50-yard field goal to lead 3-0, but Joe Dinello came back and kicked one from 22 to tie it up 3-3. Then on a 37-yard touchdown pass from Joe Pisarcik to Gary Shirk, the Giants went out in front 10-3. After a blocked punt, the Giants recovered, and Spencer drove over from the 1-yard line. Dinello later on kicked a 23-yard field goal, and it looked like it was going to be all Giants. San Francisco battled back. Wilbur Jackson carried over from the 2 to get a little bit close. The point was made to make it 20-10. An electrifying 47-yard pass play that went from Jim Plunkett to Gene Washington suddenly made it 20-17. But the 49ers unable to get back and hung $3 short as the Giants held on to win it 20-17. We can tell you that Buffalo has evidently intercepted a pass from Scott Hunter, and right now they're freezing the ball with about 1 minute to play in that Buffalo-Atlanta game. Here in Giant Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, Vin Scully along with Alex Hawkins. Hawk, I guess the big problem for San Francisco, they were flat at the start, and as you pointed out, they were slow going on and off the field, and then when they finally did catch fire, it was too late.
Vinny, I can't hear you. I've lost communication, but it is a thrill to be here. I enjoyed the ball game today. You know, going in, we kind of thought that the records of the two clubs, we wouldn't have much of a football game, but it turned out to be just the opposite of that. What a great game it was.
It was a great game, and evidently a great game up there. Buffalo comes up to be the winner thanks to that last-ditch interception, and they sit on the ball as time runs out. A big day in the life of O.J. Simpson. My, he has had a lot of them as he runs for over 100 yards, 10,000 yards in his career. Here at Giant Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, the Giants won their second. They have now beaten San Francisco 6 out of 8 times. And for San Francisco, a very dark hour, not only in the history of the ball club, but for the career of Coach Kenny Myers, because the last time the Giants, San Francisco, started off 0-5 was way back in 1963, and they'll be flying home tonight with a record of 0-5. This has been Scully for Alex Hawkins saying goodbye from Giant Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Next Saturday on the CBS Sports Spectacular, great heavyweight action from Las Vegas. Olympic gold medalist Leon Spinks takes on hard-hitting Scott Ledoux. Bernardo Mercado faces Greg Johnson. Michael Spinks, Leon's younger brother, meets Gary Summerhays in a light heavyweight match. Also, more fun with the world's strongest men competition from California. All coming up next Saturday on the CBS Sports Spectacular. That's the final. Giants 20 and San Francisco 17. Vin Scully for Alex Hawkins. Stay tuned as the NFL Today continues after this word from your local station.
Suppose you're taken hostage. Suppose you learn your husband is a homosexual. Suppose your doctor tells you you have heart disease.